What is going on, everybody? We're back again with another video, this time something different. We're going over a deck profile on a deck that I ran today's Pokemon League challenge. I ran Roaring Moon EX with a Poison engine, and it surprised me and several of my other opponents. So let's get right into it. I chose this deck because previously I had run Roaring Moon when it first came out. I thought it was really fun. It was kind of clunky at that time, so I had put it in the back burner. And I tried to play other decks like Charizard EX and some others, but this one struck me again with the new support where people were putting a Poison engine in it. And so I thought that was really fun. So I did a little bit of my own little thing here, and this is what I came up with. And this is what got me first place in my Pokemon League challenge today. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. So also, I got a new mat. It actually came in about an hour before I had to take off to the Pokemon League. So I was excited to see that this came in. This came from the Pokemon Center. It is the Pokemon Center collab with Cat. This is a very beautiful mat. I love it. It's so simplistic, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's got your Dratini, your Dragonair, and your Dragonite. Very cool. So, onto the deck list. We have 3 Roaring Moons. And so with these, obviously this is your big hitter. He's got the 230 HP with the attack, Frenzy Gouging, and Calamity Storm. Frenzy Gouging being able to just straight up knocks out, but on the flip side, you take 200 damage to yourself or to your active Pokemon in exchange. So that's the downside. However, the cool part of Roaring Moon is the Calamity Storm here, where you can discard any stadium in play, and then you can do an additional 120 damage, a total of 220. What makes that really good is pairing it up with Petron EX. Obviously, with Petron EX, you're able to switch out the active with any other dark Pokemon that's on the bench other than itself. So it cannot switch itself from the bench to the active, but it can do any other dark Pokemon you have on the bench and put it in the active. The downside is that you get poisoned when moving that Pokemon into the active. So I'm playing 2 of those. There's that. And then I'm also playing 1 Pheasantipity, pretty much a staple in every single deck. So when a Pokemon of mine gets knocked out, especially my little baby Petrons, or any of my Brute Bonnets and whatnot, the next turn I can obviously just draw the 3 cards hopefully into something that can help me out. So I play 1 of those. I play 2 Squawkabillies. This is only a first turner. After that, it's pretty much a dead card. Pitch fodder for Ultra Balls or your Earthen Vessels and whatnot. And you let you discard your hand, whatever you don't want to use or you don't need at that time. Discard your hand, draw a fresh new hand of 6. So I play 2 of those, and then into my smaller Pokemon, 2 Brute Bonnets. Now these, this is what starts it all. This is what makes the deck pretty much work. As long as you have him out with an Ancient Booster Energy Capsule attached, you're able to inflict poison on both your active Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon. So that's why I run 2 of these. So there's that, and then pairing that with the baby Petrons. These are the ones that make the poison even more dangerous. So with its Toxic Subjugation, as long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, you put 5 more poison damage on top of the one that you already started with this on your opponent's Pokemon in between turns, or on Pokemon checkup. And then I grabbed the really cool full art or the IR illustration rare arts because they were only $1. So I got 2. Then you got Monkey Door to be your damage mover from your Petron. So when it comes back to you, Petron's got maybe 20-30 damage on it. You can move that onto another Pokemon, your opponent's Pokemon in any way. It can only be 1 Pokemon, it can't be multiple. So you do that to start chipping away at the HP of your opponent's Pokemon. So that's all the Pokemon there. We'll go into the supporters. I play 4 Carmine, or Carmine, however anybody says it. This is a first turner also supporter. I mean, you can play it on any other turn as well, but you can't play it the way it says. It says if you go first, you may use this card during your first turn. So that's what's good about this, is that you want to be able to get this into your hand first turn, to be able to refresh your hand after you've expelled what you can out of your first 7 that you drew into at the beginning of the game. This is paired up with the Pokégear 3.0, and obviously what that does, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck and find a supporter and add it to your hand, then you shuffle your deck after that. So being able to, if you don't get this, trying to get these as well is also helpful to try to get into here, so that you can refresh your hand as many times as you need for the setup. So those are the supporter and the item card that works with it. And then we also play for Professor Sada's Vitality. Now these are important because this is what gets you any energies that you may have discarded in the beginning of the game with your Carmine and your Squawk abilities. So if those got pitched away into the discard pile, you're able to use this card to put energy on any of your ancient Pokemon that you have in play, like a Roaring Moon EX or the Brute Bonnet that does the Toxic ability. So there's 4 of those. Those are very important. Also help you draw the 3 cards afterward. And then I play 2 bosses. I've seen some decks playing only 1, but I figure 2 bosses is pretty adequate, pretty standard for most decks. So I figured, why not? Let's just try it and do this. I did 2 bosses there. 1 Janine Secret Art. It's just another option to get energy onto your Pokemon to set up for the mid to end game. And so this one does it through the deck. And then I typically put energy onto Pokemon that are on the bench, not usually in the active, unless the active is what I want to be attacking at that turn. But it'll get poisoned if it does get an energy attached to it in the active. So that's not really a big deal. We play, in the items, we play 4 Nest Ball. Self-explanatory. You can get the basic Pokemon down on the bench. 3 Ultra Ball. Again, self-explanatory, gets you Pokemon. Earthen Vessel. This gets you 2 of any energy that you have in the deck. We're only playing dark energy, so that's what it gets you. We play those. Then we play 4 Ancient Boost Energy Capsules. And these are very important. This actually helped me win against the Dragapult because my opponent actually forgot. I don't know how he forgot, but he didn't notice that this was attached to my Roaring Moon when he did the Dusclops for the 50 damage, and then he attacked and realized that it didn't get knocked out because he didn't realize this was attached. So this gave me the extra 60 HP boost that I needed to survive that turn, and that's ultimately what led me to win the game that turn. It also protects you from poison, so if you have to use Brute Bonnet's ability to poison both the active, your active Roaring Moon, or if your Brute Bonnet's in the active, doesn't take any poison damage because of this. This is an amazing card. Then we play 3 Energy Search, and I don't like how they're mismatched, but play 3 Energy Search because sometimes, even in the beginning of the game, you don't always want to throw away energy, so sometimes you just slap energy on another Pokemon, just save it there because you know that you'll have these later on in the game to move them around. Plus, this also helps in moving games when I have Pokemon that need the energy. I'm able to find this and an energy. I can manually attach it and then move an energy from one of my Pokemon to here, and then move up to the active to do an attack. Typically, I would use it for Roaring Moon EX or Petron EX because a lot of times in the late game, you're going to be using your Petron EX to do Irritating Outburst, which basically does 60 damage for each prize card your opponent has already taken. So about the time there were at 2 prize cards left, you pretty much have a 240 plus attack with just 2 energy. So we play that. 1 Night Stretcher, self-explanatory, gets you a Pokemon that's been discarded earlier or was knocked out earlier into your hand, or it can get you an energy that you might need. We played Power Pad, recycled those supporters that got thrown away in the early game. Secret box, big card here. This this was hard for me to find, but I found one at a local card shop and I purchased it. This what pretty much sets you up if you're able to get this in your first 7 cards at the start of the game. Basically you pitch 3 cards for it, and then you can search for an item card, a tool card, a support card, and a stadium card. That's basically all you need to set this deck up for the poison engine. So very strong deck, very strong if you find it. Into the stadiums, we have 4, and I was actually very thankful for that guy who played the Dragon Ball EX deck today. He actually gave me this and helped me out to finish my deck, because I had proxies. I had 2 proxies, and a proxy of this and a proxy of the Pokémon 3.0. So 2 very nice people at the Pokemon League helped me out there. But this is kind of like the heart of the deck, heart of the cards, but heart of the deck basically, because it allows you to do an additional 2 poison damage to any non-dark Pokemon on the field, basically. And that's really strong, because when you're pairing it up with Petrant, after you've done your ability with Brute on it, you're already doing 1 poison damage here, plus another 5 here with Petrant, and then you're doing 2 more with Perilous Jungle. That's a total of 8 per Pokemon checkup. So you're doing 80 damage in between turns, and after just a few turns, if that Pokemon does not move out of the active, it's knocked out. That's pretty strong. So, and then energies, just playing 7 dark energies, because you do not need a lot of energies. Even if they're in the discard, you have your Professor Sada's Vitality to pick them back up, or your Night Stretcher to grab one if you need it. But that is the deck. That is what took me to first place today. It wasn't a very big Pokemon League challenge, but still, to be able to go in with a deck that I didn't really have too much hope that it might win or not, it was really cool to play against some of the bigger decks like Dragapult, and then the Iron Hands. What else? There was a Frost Glass there. There's actually a few Dragapults there. I only played against one today, but it was pretty crazy to see that this thing was able to take the win today. So that is the deck list, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button. If you want to see more of this content, or even more gameplay, because I'm going to start doing that more often, not just pack openings and whatnot. But if you want to see more tournament gameplay, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Take care.